Appreciate you, Daniel. Morning. It's a little tight for me, man. Y'all tell me if this is too loud, man. This is the weirdest sander, man. Somebody calling me right now? Come on now. Ruiz. Welcome, man. Welcome. That's a good idea, Daniel. We'll have to think about doing that. Yeah. Sorry about that. Probably feedback. Trying to find a good angle for y'all, man. I could probably put this up on the bed, to be honest, and tip it down. I'd just be afraid the vibrations will mess that up. See, y'all might see vibrations if I do this, though. Let me take off the mask for a minute. Literally. Also got to plane all the top boards, so we got to do that. We got to do that too. We got in the chat. Daniel came in to say hi, but he's working. Woodshed by Dan said, morning, Dave. Dave Collier Camping said, bye, Daniel. Woodshed by Dan said, hi, Daniel. Billy Shoemate said, take care, Daniel. So welcome everybody to Dad's Workshop. Some people got work they got to do, and I understand that totally. LOL smiley face. That's me most of the time. Right there.
All right, where are you gonna stand next?
In this area, I gotta do these boards here. So if you want to turn around and face those boards, it'll vibrate if you put it right on though. Maybe it'll work. Turn this away from you. The angry sander, dude. Wow, we don't want that, guys. Seems I have a problem with some sort of component of the motor. It wants to just like spin out. Oh, maybe there's somebody out there that knows about that. I've only ever had it happen with this. Maybe one other sander. Wow. Okay, so we'll try a different angle. CNG, welcome. P-Dubs in the house. Plywood, welcome. CNG. I see. They just wanted me to chill with the noise, literally. There's only one problem with that. I need the noise. You know what I mean? We'll do some hand work on this, but see, I got a big old splinter yesterday. Messing around doing this stuff by hand with no blocks. So I'm careful now. You gotta see that big old piece of tape on my finger. That thing was deep. I want to stain this with a combination. I want to stain with this with a combination of those pokeberries, coffee, apple cider vinegar, and tung oil. And I want to make sure I can mix those all. So I got to use some sort of surfactant that can mix those substances together. But I do have to plane the entire top and all those boards on the top. So we could do a planing sequence. We did yesterday. I do not want these edges real sharp because the last set I made, the edges are just a bit unforgiving. And my son was like, hey, the edge hurts. And so I know I have to soften these edges a lot more than I did last time. I want to get these pencil marks off and then want to prepare the surface for taking stain. I can see labels and stuff on this side here. I might put the camera down there for a little bit. I was cool, nice and cool last night with my window open all night. Woke up with the bird chirpity chirp chirp chirp, the chirp 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 with the mockingbirds outside. Let's see if my other sander's available. Because what I want to do is I want to sand this thing, but I don't want to sand it with a sander that's going to be mean to me. It was not nice to me. I got this other super cheap one. I think this is from Harbor Freight. I should say cargo. We'll say shore cargo. We'll call them from now on as a sneaky keyword. The problem with these little sanders is this is what happens. I'm sure there's some guys that got solutions. Look at the felt on the bottom of it. It's almost separated. I've glued it back down. I think I hot glued it before. That happens with all of these. I mean, all the ones I've had. But this one, this motor just spins out of control. Welcome everybody. Double tap that light. Double tap that screen. Maybe if I set the mic away. I'm just going to take this down a little bit right here because it kind of took the chip out. really don't like that power sander. What's up? Wes is in the house? I might just have to tolerate it, folks. Because the power sander is what I need to get this labeling and stuff off of here. Wes does it said, hello, fellow Calvinites. I love that, Calvinites. It's not inflating my ego at all to hear that. I said my ego is not inflated at all by that. Good morning, Carrie. Carrie, welcome, Carrie. So the microphone better set back because people ain't liking the power sander, period. So I'm gonna have to roll with it, or maybe set up for the planer and do the top ones. Maybe I'll do that. Let me set the planer up. Do the top boards. See, I'm breathing that dust in and turn my flow hood on. Welcome, everybody. Billy Shoemate said, hey, Carrie. Heather B said, morning, Carrie. Woodshed by Dan said, good morning, Carrie, because Carrie's awesome. Carrie, West, Plywood, friend of the show. Billy, friend of the program. Woodshed by Dan, member, friend of the program. CNG, welcome. Of course, Daniel was in here earlier. He has to work, but he's out. All members appreciated, much appreciated. Much appreciated. We're going to change the angle, guys, and see whether that does gets the same mileage. And I can set y'all on the floor too. The other option. That's good. Alright, here we go. Let's see how that looks. Frostbite Digital. Frostbite Digital, welcome. See, I got to do that tie beam there, so y'all got to look at it from that direction. That's really look at it. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Mm, 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 mm. We can set up the planer again and run. I got to run boards through the planer. I mean, plenty to do, but I don't want to scare people away here. At Dad's Workshop, we don't like scaring folks. From y'all's angle, it looks like some of those boards need to be tapped in a little bit. Tibbity tap tap. Now that is a benefit to routing out those mortises, because if you use a router and a router jig, most likely you're not going to have uneven mortises, and you all know it was 1,000,000 degrees too. So cutting each one of them was misery. Like, I love woodworking. It was so hot it made it not fun at all. But I had a great time making the bed in general. Not done yet. We're not done yet. Let's run some boards through the planer then, guys. I'll set the angle up wide to start. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. 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 I'll try to chat with y'all. So yesterday, what we did, sorry about this messy shot. That's how we roll around here. Yesterday, what we did was set it up here. Right? As evidenced by the wood chips. Mm-mm. Yeah, I don't recommend running one of these inside unless you have dust removal. And there is a plastic dust removal addition that goes on this. I never had that kind of sophistication, so I don't know, man. I kind of like wood dust, even if it gives me cancer. Is that a bad thing? Ooh. That angle, y'all. So I gotta take all these top boards out and run them through this planer. So it's gonna be loud. This ain't gonna be on quiet mode at all. It's gonna be on loud mode. Now, I have to do these each one at a time because I actually have them labeled, so they're gonna have to be relabeled when I put them back in. Why am I not surprised the top is not coming out as easily? Let me know if it's too loud, y'all. This is Northeast, so I got these labels a little easier. What I gotta do is, I'm gonna have to figure out I'm gonna label the end with a pencil, end grain. Northwest. That's all I need on there. Let's see what this chat says. Yep, matching socks today, ladies and gentlemen. No, I know. I know, man. He said wood smells great. You don't have to invite cancer in to smell it, though. That's true. I need to put my respirator back on. This is a prettier board right here. Let's check the chat real quick. I like to see it in place before I plane it, Carrie. That's why. But Carrie said, why not plane the wood before you put the joints in? Some of it has been planed somewhat. Probably on those braces. So good question. Yeah, I like to see it in the mortises, and I like it to bend like it's going to while it gets down to lower, humidity level. So, yeah, that's why. Once it gets down to that humidity, it's going to show its character, and you'll be able to figure it out. All right, what I was doing. This one's trickier. It's got a half lap on it. See that? It's not the whole width. See? So I don't want to break it. I could explain the half lap to you later, but it has to do with the strength of the wood where the corner braces are placed. There's too much wood missing. But I don't want to talk and get myself in trouble here. But just suffice it to say, I did the half lap for a reason. Sorry, y'all. I found a broken piece in my bed. I have to fix it with a clamp and some glue, dude. I haven't ever had that happen. Caught me in my stomach. Sorry about that, y'all. I had a little hiccup in my process there. Not low enough. This is what happened, y'all, and I've never had this happen before. Let me show you. Right here, a piece of the rail basically blew out, and I've never had that happen, but this is cheaper and more poor wood than I'm used to. So what I had to do was glue this piece back on. I got these two clamps here, but this is going to put stress on it, so I can't put this board back in place until this mortise is glued. Does that make sense? Y'all seem to hate the planer, so we might come back to the shop and just do some quieter stuff. I got to work on some of those mortise tips, the edges of them, the shoulders, and stuff like that. So let me check up on the chat, because I know y'all love it when I just yuck it up with you, and that's what I love to do. Obviously, there's stuff in the shop I need to get done, but most important priority is y'all. So let's look at the chat. Ain't no way this project's done today anyways. So the situation is that I'd rather chill and hang out, and we're getting down to the nitty gritty on this bed. It's almost about to, it's gonna get a ladder and stuff like that. Get down to the bottom of the chat. Even if you don't care for Da Vinci, I'm hoping maybe some of the method opens up new ideas. So Heather is working on video production stuff, okay? So if you do video production or you're interested in making YouTube content, Heather is the person to talk to. Yeah, I know, it stinks, doesn't it? Carrie said, we don't hate the planer, we just can't chat at the same time. I agree, Carrie. It's tough. Let me put these two sanders back. I got a little bit of it done. I know you all, you're like, I got to get you all involved. So let's move the planer back in. Give it a little bit of a rest. Oops. That planer's so loud, you all cannot even possibly understand. It's super, super loud. I used to run that thing at like 3 in the morning when my neighbor's like 10 feet away. Well, my plan today is that I'm gonna do as much work as I can on this bed, hang out with y'all for a little bit, and then I'm going to link up with my sons and have a sons weekend. Focus on my boys. Frostbite, I'm using YouTube right now. I have OBS. I use OBS when I'm in the house. If I'm doing member streams, I use OBS. But I don't have a strong enough signal outside Frostbite. I don't know if you could get rid of that noise, dude. It's overwhelmingly loud. There's some, to some degree, they have filters built into these. Yes, I could go, and audio is important, but planing is, well, planing is just a loud activity, and apparently not that popular with the folks. So yesterday it seemed to be, but yeah, most surface planers are loud because they got hammers, blade-like hammers spinning around on a spindle, and the motors are powerful, and there's a lot of friction, obviously, with the blades hitting the wood. Woodshed by Dan said, I'm sticking around here. I'm just playing with the kids. Glad you're here, Dan. Frostbite Digital said, you can. It is possible to get rid of vacuum sounds and all kinds of stuff. The lathe guys have to do it. Yeah, a lot of lathes on YouTube. If I had a lathe, I would use it sometimes. That would be my position with it. Frostbite, I'm sure you're aware that the only thing to do is to do it, though. So like if you're like hesitating on doing something because, oh, there's too much noise, or oh, my sound's not right, or oh, my lighting's not right, my video's not right, you'll never do it. You have to do it regardless. Not saying be sloppy, but you do have to jump in. Can't start swimming until you're in the pool. You can talk about the water's too cold or too hot or too deep, or you can jump in the pool and start swimming. Appreciate you, Carrie. Carrie said, I'm happy to watch planing or anything that you do. Oh, I know you're not Frostbite. I'm I know, I know even in the gallery, like I'm pretty critical too. If I see a woodworker, I'm not critical of the woodworker, but if I see them doing something and I'm like, oh, boom, he could use a Forstner for that. I put it in the chat too. I'll be like, you could use a Forstner bit for that. Of course, he may have a reason he's not using a Forstner bit, and there's 1,001 ways to skin a cat. But I would say that I don't even worry about it. I can take criticism, Frostbite. There are things I can improve. Far as the half laps, let me explain the half lap joints to you though, Frostbite. The area where those dovetails go over the tie beam there, I have a corner brace going into the structure. So there's a brace pocket cut into the beam. If I use the entire depth of that 2x4 and put it into that tie beam, now I have a mortise cut like 1.5 inches, 2 inches in, and I have another 1.5 inches mortise on the top. How much actual support wood is left? So you have no support wood. So in order to engineer this bed properly, I had to think about that ahead of time. I couldn't just put the same joint all the way across. Wherever there's a brace, there's a half lap, so that I'm not using the support wood up that it needs right there.
And do the same with the others too. The others pop up a little bit on purpose that you're not going too deep into it.
Right. Frostbite Digital said, oh yeah, I hear you. I'm not trying to stop you from streaming anything, big dog. Yeah, no, you're cool, man. Billy Shoemate said, the noise don't bother me. I'm half deaf anyhow. Yeah, I kind of think I'm there too. I've kind of got to defeatist about the ear protection. But definitely if I have like I'm not gonna say the company name because I'm not trying to plug them, but I have earpieces and they're pretty noise protective. Yeah, no, don't, Frostbite. I mean, you're adding to my chat rate. You're fine with me. I'm not upset about. I have definite things I can improve upon and things I need to think about. Noise reduction would be one of them, and I definitely need to think when I plane and half lap joints and stuff like that. I don't got a problem with that. And then if you can stand up to criticism and you keep doing your thing, then you're good. I'm looking at my bed right now. Some spots I really want to fix. I have one little piece of wood that blew off, and I have this ready to glue back up and haven't done it yet. I want to tighten up the corner braces. Lots of stuff I want to do. Right, it is. It is science. I mean, this bed there was no, and not to toot my own horn, but I've never seen somebody join an entire bunk bed because it's structural and you have to have structural rigidity, otherwise it's unsafe. So I was like, I want to join a bunk bed. And then there were no conventions on how to do it with hand tools, so I used the timber framing way, and there's a lot of things I learned. I built one like that, it worked, but then when I got to the second one, I was like, I want to change this and this, and I think I've done something, in my opinion, that's profound, taking dimensional store-bought lumber and using side joining and lamination to create larger members, to create a furniture piece out of construction grade lumber. That was my goal here, with no nails, no screws, and no pins, and have the rigidity to hold up a person easily, multiple people. My bed inside, you could probably drive a car up onto it, to be honest. It's really sturdy. But I like that comment. Woodworking is based on science, but it is an art form. We all did it a little different. Or we all do it a little different, is correct. Yeah, it's true. Someone tap that like button. Give me up to 20 likes. I did succeed, Carrie, and I'm happy to say I succeeded in doing it. I'm going to pull that clamp off, but we're going to see how real rigid it is without that clamp on, but I don't think that's holding the whole bed together.
Got a cobweb on it.
Yeah, there's a couple on there. There was one up under here too, near where the fan was at.
Yeah, cobwebs everywhere in there. It's because we're spooky.
I have to trim back the mortises on the corner joints before I put it up. I have to add a couple joints to those bottom runners, and so it's not completely done, but the structure is mostly done.
You want to ask them to interact with any shorts you make this weekend? Do you want to be streaming?
Yeah, I'm going to be making shorts over the weekend. If you all see, get an alert for a short, interact with it. Put a comment up. Pretty soon I'm going to start a campaign to try to spread the leverage to TikTok and other platforms, Instagram. And so I'll be asking people to like, do Instagram stuff and things like that to try to, and I'll do more giveaways too. I got some more ideas for, I'm going to do some boxes and some soap and stuff. And we got our stuff ready to ship out here. So some of it's going to ship out this weekend and other is going to ship out next week. Probably the overseas. We got a couple overseas orders to ship out. So, appreciate everybody being here. I think that's about all for me. I wish I could do a Friday and a Saturday. I love Saturday and Sunday streaming too. And I hope I don't lose my folks, but I will be back on Monday evening. I will for sure. Barring some sort of unforeseen circumstances. And I will be around over the weekend. I'll drop some shorts. I may drop some member stuff because there's so many members now. It makes sense. Appreciate everybody. Love y'all. Tap that like button on the way out. Have a great weekend. Pop around, check the videos out, make a comment. I'll make community posts too. Check out all these other makers on here too. Frostbite Digital and obviously Wes does it. Carrie's on here. She's starting a channel. Heather B, big start to her. She's soft. What do we call that? Soft rollout to the channel right now coming up. So yeah, here we go. And it's a journey and we're loving it. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Come back and see us again. Check out the other videos. See y'all later. Do the next right thing.